Brett Ruskin, right in our headlines on this story. Post-tropical storm Teddy has made landfall now in Nova Scotia and will move northeast across the Maritimes over the course of the day. The storm is bringing heavy rain, wind gusts, storm surge warnings are also in effect, and thousands of people are waking up without power today. The message has been from officials: stay inside, stay prepared, stay safe, and thanks to Brett Ruskin, stay informed as well. That is Brett's camera, so why don't we bring in Brett? He's right there in 3 Fathom Harbour this morning to the east of Halifax. And Brett, set the scene for us. We've been checking in with you hour by hour, and certainly the wind is picking up.
The wind is picking up indeed, Heather. So, I mean, right now, the sun has come out a little bit. The rain has stopped, certainly, but take a look at these waves behind me. We can even take a walk here. Take a look at the waves off the coast here in 3 Fathom Harbour. So that wind is certainly strong indeed. So you can see the waves as they're crashing against the rocks here in 3 Fathom Harbour. The blast of the foam and the spray, this is only going to intensify as the tide comes in. So right now, the tide is making its way in. This certainly isn't high tide. High tide's not till 1 o'clock, 1:10-ish or so for this part of the East Coast. And so this is only one of the areas that's been seeing some of the forces of this post-tropical storm. We also saw in Herring Cove, just outside of Halifax, there was a sailboat that actually sank in the storm surge that rolled in very quickly earlier this morning. So there's also the wind is fairly strong here, but it is most likely even stronger on the other side of the storm track. So right now I'm on the western side, or the left side of the storm track. On the other side, just because of the way that the storm is circulating and twirling around, that side typically has higher wind levels. So it's windy here, almost certainly windier elsewhere in the province as well. Heather.
Brett, we certainly had a lot of announcements. Flights canceled, ferry service suspended, buses for transit taken off the road because of the concerns that this could be dangerous. What are we hearing about all of those issues and how people have been faring so far?
Well, sure, yeah. We've seen schools closed, businesses closed, government offices late opening as well. We have seen as well some evacuations. There's been a handful of evacuations for folks who were living close to the shore, who registered with the Red Cross and left as the water level increased. We were expecting perhaps more evacuations, perhaps greater problems with that storm surge and with possible damage and flooding, but we haven't seen the same kind of damage and destruction and effects of the storm as we saw, for example, last year with Hurricane Dorian, with trees down on every street, with that crane that collapsed over top of the building in downtown Halifax. So this storm is not as destructive, at least in this part of the province, as previous storms, but it's still not over yet. So the storm is making its way across the province. It's going to be heading and bringing this wind and rain to Prince Edward Island, as well as to Newfoundland and to Cape Breton as well. So the storm is still windy and rainy, but it looks like the brunt of it, at least where I'm standing here, is likely, hitting its peak at the very least. Heather.
Brett, thank you for all of that coverage this morning, right in the thick of things for us, and whoever's operating your camera, too. We appreciate that from both of you today. Brett Ruskin in east of Halifax for us this morning.